Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Sky Factory 3.0. Today's episode number 49. Today's episode is proudly brought to you by Draconic Evolution. Specifically, more specifically, it's more about energy crystals. And why energy crystals? Well, I had two really good comments in the last episode. One by Ty Gray and another one by Floatin' A. They said, you could do the Awakening Draconic not in 15 minutes, but in 30 seconds. And I said, no, you can't. And they said, yeah, you really can. I said, no, it's not possible. 350 million RP in 30 seconds to craft and charge this thing? They said, yeah. And then I started thinking, or actually they explained, you need to use the energy crystals. And that makes sense. Yeah, the energy crystals are unbound, and I'll show you why it works right now. All right, here is the main problem right here. These conduits, they only hold 20,000, you see, and 480 RFs per tick. That is limiting how much power I can get to these fusion crafter injectors, or whatever you call these things. Yeah, that is limiting. It's like towing all this energy from this thing into a little funnel and squeezing it through trying to get it there. So what we're going to do is we're going to use energy crystals instead of these things. And I'll explain how it hooks up in just a minute. But I also want to tell you, I took in a test world, I tried using the flux ports and I connected 9 of them in the back of this thing, and it did not work. It just said, I don't know what to do. So flux ports didn't work, so we are going to do what these guys suggest and use energy crystals. Let's go ahead and I'll try to explain these energy crystals a little bit to you as we go. But basically in the Draconic tablet, there is a place, let's see if we can get right here. There we go. Right here, Energy Network, and it tries to explain a lot of this to you. I'll try to explain a lot of it today. I have a little test pad way over somewhere, and we'll show you how it's all laid out. But for today, here's what we need for today's episode. Yeah, once again, Draconic Evolution does not disappoint, and its ability to use up a lot of our resources, mainly the draconium ingots. I mean, yeah, it never ends, does it? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is make the Draconic Evolution's version of a wrench, which is a crystal binder. And again, if you've been noticing, this is a common theme. Draconic core is in everything. So we always need draconic cores. There we go. We have our draconic binder, or the wrench, the crystal wrench that we need for today's episode. All right, now we're going to go ahead and then these tier up. They go from one to another. And let me explain this real quick. There's three different basic types. You'll see the blue ones here. You have basically the basic energy relay. You have the input output, the I/O. Then you have the wireless, and each one of those, there's different levels. Each one can handle a little bit more than the one before. So of course the Draconic is like the god of all of them, and that's what we're going to make today. But you have to start at the beginning, because this can't be built without this, and this can't be built without that. So you have to actually start from the very beginning and build up. So we're going to go ahead and look at, well, just not even look at the recipe. We need some of these. Well, just one. That's not bad for the first one. And then we need this. And we put this in the middle and just surround it by some diamonds. And now we have the basic energy relay crystals. Now we're going to use these to make the next one. Let's go ahead and get that stuff out of my inventory over here. There we go. And of course, we'll go ahead and start building these things. Just get used to it. Got 5 of those. And we need to build 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And that should be everything to build the Wyvern level crystals. So we're going to put the basic energy crystals in there, just like this. And we're going to get 4 of these things. All right, so we're moving right on along. Now we're going to do the Draconic level. And the Draconic level, whoops, is basically we have to build the stuff before we can do our injectors. So basically we're going to do the fusion crafting. When you go ahead and build a bunch of these things real quickly. And of course, it all starts the Draconic cores. So we got 8 of them this time. And let's go back here and go here and here. And we should have everything to build 5 of these, I think it is. 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have to build one more thing, and it'll be all set and ready to go. That is this bad boy right here with the nether star. At least it's only one nether star that's used up this time. But you know, now that I can craft them really quick over there, it doesn't bother me too much. Alright, so we have everything we need to start the fusion on this. Let's go ahead and spread that out real quick. And we'll go ahead and put these in the ejectors. And this only takes like 30 seconds for it to run, so this isn't a major one. This doesn't take much power. And then we'll take 4 of those. 2, 3. That uses all 9 ejectors. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. We're going to hit start. And again, it only takes about 30 seconds for this to go. And yeah, I still enjoy watching this. I don't know how many times I've watched this now. But yeah, I still enjoy this. Alright, while that goes, I'm going to go ahead and set up one other thing. We are going to, at the end of this episode, we're going to show you how fast this thing goes. So I'm going to go ahead and build the basic things. This is Awakening. We don't need that yet. Don't need that yet. If you go to the Awakening, let's go here, here, here. So we need the basics of these. So we need a whole bunch of those all over again. So we're going to awaken one more crystal. There we go. We'll come back and use that in just a minute. Just trying to utilize my time a little bit. There we go. Now we have our Draconic Energy Relay. We got 4 of them. Now we're going to take this thing. We're going to take one of them here. We're going to split it in half. And that'll give us 2 input outputs. Okay? We'll use that in just a minute. Well, now we have 3 relays. Now we're going to upgrade one of the relays into the wireless relay. And this is what we need for the wireless relay. There we go. And I go ahead and make 2 eye vendors real quick. There we go, and the wireless relay is right here. So we need to make 2 of these particle generators. And of course we can't go anywhere without doing that. There we go. Got 2 of those. And now we should have everything we need for the particle generators. We got 2 of those. And now we can go ahead and make, it'll take one of these. Where is it? Right here. Now we have a thing called a Draconic Wireless Energy. Okay, so we're all set there. Let's go ahead and we'll take one of these input outputs, and I'm going to try to explain this the easiest way I can. With a free hand, nothing in the hand, you hit shift and right click, and you see right now it says balance. Actually, it says input, output, and balanced. Okay, what it's doing is whatever is in here, whichever way it's going. So right now, the power is being inputted into it. It's not being outputted into it. So you got power here. This should be on input. So this is inputting into here. Okay, it's not outputting into there. So it's confusing. It's backwards to me, but this is inputting. Now we're going to take our wrench, and actually we'll come back to that in just a minute. We're going to take our wireless one that we just made, which is this one right here, Draconic Wireless Energy Cell. We're going to go ahead and break all this out. We don't need this conduit anymore. Okay, come on, faster. Or we don't need this flux duct. We're going to go ahead and put this wireless one right here. And we're going to go ahead and shift and then right click with our what I call it, the wrench. And then shift right click on the back of each one of these things, and you see a little laser light thing going. We are actually connecting to this thing wirelessly. So now the energy will automatically excuse me, go from here into these. Now this isn't getting energy yet, so we need to go ahead. If you look, it says charge 0 of 64 million, so there's nothing here. So we need to actually connect it to this thing over here, which is going to be our output. There we go. And now you see the beam is showing you that it's connected. Now if we don't have this crystal wrench or whatever you call it in our hand, the beam disappears. We put it back in, it shows you where everything is connected. Yes? Yes? So now, instead of the power going like it did before through the conduits, this thing is, and the RF system, this thing is now just, it's going to be laser fast. Alright, let's go ahead and get this stuff out. There we go. This is what we're going to do. Last time, I don't know if you remember, but it literally took me 15 minutes to get those Awakening Draconic block made. This time, it should take about 30 seconds. So you'll see how it does. Let's get this out of the way. Now I'll explain all this in just a minute. Alright, we got our heart. And I don't have enough room for that yet, so we'll go ahead and put those 4 in first. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll put the heart in the middle. That's where the heart should be. 4. Alright, that's everything to awaken the Draconic. Now we just need to put this block in there. I'm going to go ahead and hit start, and this took 15 minutes in the last episode for me to do. This time it should take about 30 seconds. And you can see this is power beam, shows you how much power is going. The heavier it is, more power is going over there. So 350 million is literally just going over there like crazy. And now we're almost done. We're already done the, I don't even remember the first infusion part. Now we're actually doing the crafting part. That beam has disappeared because it doesn't need the energy anymore. And this has gone from 15 minutes to 30 minutes. And again, I like to thank Ty Gray and Floating A for pointing this out to me. This is incredible. Now, I'm not going to use this in many other places around my base right now because there's nothing that really needs that much power. Everything else my conduits can handle right now, but when we get to other things that need power like this, there is not a better way. All right, now, now that you see the basics of this and that, I'm going to go ahead and take you to a little test site real quick. Let's go ahead and go here and here. And I'm going to try to explain this a little bit to you. And this is just one I created and I cheated. Yes, I blew all this in here because I want to show you how all this kind of like works. That way you understand it. And again, it's all in the Draconic tablet here, and I'll try to explain it a little bit to you. Now, the first crystal here is, like I said, is the input output, and I put input output on this one, on these, all these over here. Now, if you look at it, and we're just going to talk about the first tier. Now, if you just remember, let's look at the tablet. The first tier, let's go here, can handle only, like for example, can only handle 2 links. See, the next one can handle 3 links, and the fourth one, so each one can handle a little bit more. So basically, if you understand one tier, you can understand the other tiers and how they can help out a lot more. All right, let me go ahead and put this tool in my box. Now, this one here can only connect 2 things. This is the input output, so it can only connect 2 things, and this is a relay. No, actually, this is the wireless, excuse me. So it can connect to a wireless and can connect to an I/O, okay? One to the other. So it can only connect to 2 things. So if you have more than 2 things you need to connect to, you could actually go, all right, for an example, this one, a relay, they can handle up to 8 things. So you can click here and it can actually go, I got 3 of them here, and it shows here that we're connected to 4 out of the 8 things. So we're halfway done in the connection. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then the original connection. That's 4. So the relay can handle up to 8 connections. So then you got your regular input output, right? So if you want to go from this to just 2 things, you're fine. But if you have more than 2 things, you might use your relay. Or again, you could bump it up to the Wyvern level or the Draconic level. So the wireless relay, if you look at it here, it says there's 4 out of 4 links used, and that's all that it has. So you see the blue is the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it shows the wireless, it says only 2 out of the 16 are used. And you can see how those wireless are all set there. So basically you got the I/O, which is this one here, you got the wireless, and then you got the relay. So it depends on how you like to hook things all up and make things look. Mine, again, I ended up using, let's go back to that world, to that area, excuse me. Mine, I used just the one wireless I/O, or just the one I/O here, and then I connected it to the wireless because it just seems simpler and easier. And the reason I also use the Draconic is because it holds more power and it can transfer more power. If you look at the different levels, 64 million stored in these things compared to only 4 million. And I also did a test to see if I did this with the lower levels, it doesn't transfer quite as fast. This is the fastest transfer in the biggest holding area. All right, my friends, that ends today's episode. Everything about Draconic Evolution's energy crystals that I can tell you about it. They're really cool. If you need to move some power, dude, you can really move some power with these things. And I'd like to, again, thanks Ty Gray and Floating A for pointing this out to me. All right, you know the drill. If you saw something you like, give me that thumbs up. Saw something you didn't like, give me that thumbs down. And if you have any comments, leave them down below. And all else fails, please subscribe. It's been fun, it's been real, and we got a lot of power out of today. It's really been powerful. All right, my friends, y'all have a great day. Bye, guys. Ah!